30 Days by It's_Kingston on AO3. Episode 4, Chapter 2, Amity's First Day. After a few minutes, Miss Clawthorne came back, admiring the quick and neat work Amity had done. Sorry that phone can't run long. My sister was complaining about some kids who sucked, in her words. She sighed. It's okay, Amity said, pulling another book from the shelf. There aren't any Hexax book here, are there? She asked, curious to know whether she was right. No, they keep those under lock and key. None leave the school. Miss Clawthorne laughed, shaking her head. Do you need one? No, someone asked me about them, though. Amity responded. Miss Clawthorne hummed in acknowledgement and started shelving books, doing it quicker than Amity had. I've been working here for years. I've basically memorized where everything is, Miss Clawthorne says after seeing Amity try to work at the same place. We'll get there. Amity laughed. Yeah, I guess so. Within no time at all, the cart was empty, and the work had done. That was fast, Miss Clawthorne said, pushing the empty cart back to its slot beside her desk. Amity nodded in agreement, before checking her phone for the time. I need to go, Amity said, realizing she still had to unpack. I might be back tomorrow, though. Is that okay? Of course, you're always welcome here, whenever you have the time, Miss Clawthorne said back. Amity smiled and began walking away. Thank you. Bye. Amity called over her shoulder. I'm glad it's not very far from Hexside. Now I can still go there and go to school. It's smaller than the library near the Blight Manor, but the kids and Miss Clawthorne seem nice, she thought, beginning the walk back to Hexside. Amity stopped beside the back door. She took her hoodie off and grabbed her sunglasses before walking back inside. She made her way back to room 302. Having quickly memorized the route, she unlocked the door and walked in. Still not seeing her doormate, Amity flipped the light switch on and put her stuff down before beginning to unpack. While putting something on her desk, Amity saw a note on it. Hey, pick whatever side of the room you want. I'll take the other. I'll be back once the ball coach is done. Luce, your roommate. Oh, that's nice. Guess she has been here, Amity murmured, tossing the note onto the trash can. A minute later, she heard laughing and talking. One voice stood outside the door, while the others left. A key clicked into the lock, and a girl walked in. Oh, hey! The girl, who Amity assumed was Luce, waved. Hey, Amity said coldly, unaware of what to think of Luce. She seemed laid back and carefree, the complete opposite of Amity. Silent type, okay, Luce said, walking behind Amity. Which bed do you want? Left side, Amity said back, grabbing something from the box and putting it on her desk. Fine with me. So, I'm Luce. Nice to meet you. Amity sighed and turned around, not wanting to deal with introducing herself to someone else. She always got the same treatment. Once someone realized she was the heir of Bright security, they always tried to get on her good side. Amity, she said coldly, sticking out her hand, which Luce hesitantly shook. Amity took the opportunity to look at the girl in front of her. Short brown hair stuck up all over the place, almost falling into her eyes. An almost permanent smile seemed to be planted on her face, but unlike Amity, it was a genuine one. Luce grabbed her bottle and took a sip, as Amity watched, lost in thought. Do you need something, or? Luce asked. Nothing, Amity said back, turning around to keep unpacking her stuff. So, Luce said, are you here for degree or sports? I'm majoring in law, minoring in business, Amity said back, her mind on autopilot as she spoke. Her goal was to get out of here with a law degree so she could take down her parents' scummy company. She was living proof of all their misdeeds, and if she had a good reputation, she might just be able to take them out. I'm here on a scholarship, playing basketball, Luce said, ruffling something behind Amity. I didn't ask, Amity replied, still not taking her eyes off the box in front of her. Oh, well, I thought we were sharing facts, Luz said back, sounding sarcastic. Amity assumed she rolled her eyes as she spoke. I have no interest in knowing about you, Amity said, not being completely honest. Of course, she didn't normally want to know about some stranger, but the idea of delving from Odia's wish was becoming more enticing as the minutes passed. Whatever, Luz mumbled. Amity heard more ruffling and finally turned around, wanting to know what Luz had done. That's not straight. No, it's a bi flag. I meant it's not leveled. Oh, Luz said, looking back at it. It was, in fact, not hung up straight. A straight bi flag would be ironic. I'll leave it. Luz shrugged. Amity groaned. I don't want to deal with you for a whole year, she murmured. As she watched Luz pace around and look at the flag from different angles, she felt an overwhelming feeling building up. Jealousy. She doesn't have the fate of a company on her back. She doesn't have overbearing parents. She can't express herself without worrying how it looks on her parents' reputation. I've never had that chance. The thoughts plagued her mind, swarming around her and making her angry. I think I'm pretty great to hang out with, Luz said back, grabbing something out of the box. You're certainly not. Amity trailed off, her eyes still glued to the flag that hung over Luz's. What's your name? I just told you, Luz said, not looking over from the box she was crouched in front of. Luz Nuceda. Want me to write it down for you? No, Amity said, glaring over at her. Whoa, calm down, Luz said, a smirk growing on her face. What was your name again? Amity Blight. I'll be surprised if you forget it, she said back, unfaltering confidence filling her voice. She always had that to fall back to. Her parents had built a substantial amount of reputation to go with their name. Why's that? Luz said nonchalantly. She watched as it clicked, and despite playing dumb, Amity knew that Luz knew. Amity smirked. You look like you know why. Yeah, whatever, Blight-y. Luz teased, grinning at the girl. If there was one thing Amity hated more than her name being tied to her parents' company, it was being mocked. Don't call me that, Amity said harshly, stepping forward and standing face to face with Luz. Her intimidation attempts seemed to have the opposite effect, as it only edged Luz on. Okay, Blight-y, calm down. If you wanted a kiss, you just had to say so, Luz said, taking a step back. Amity noted the lack of space between them and backed up, glaring at Luz. Shut up, no será, Amity said, before walking out the door, shutting it with a slam. Bye, Blight-y, Amity heard Luz say as she stormed off. Not knowing where she was going, Amity ended up sitting against the wall beside the back door she used to get to the library. The chill breeze of the fall-cold air sat there, her head in her hands. What is it with her? Why'd she come in there and... What did she do? She mocked me for no reason, right? It wasn't my fault. Was it? Amity sat quietly and thought, not sure why she felt drawn to this girl. Maybe it was the way Luz treated her like someone else, not the girl someone respected, but an equal. And maybe it was because Luz seemed to be so easygoing and confident, not how Amity was confident. No, Luz was proud of herself, not artificial confidence that came from someone else. Luz was just proud of herself. That much was obvious. And maybe it was how happy Luz seemed to be. Happy to talk, happy to make friends, happy to just be there. Maybe it was the way Odalia never let Amity hang out with someone who wasn't of their social status. And maybe it was because the only relationship Amity was allowed to have was with guys. Once her parents chose, there was Luz, living her life, the way she wanted to. Yeah, maybe those were the reasons why she found herself drawn to Luz. And maybe that's why she couldn't stop thinking about how close they stood. No. Amity couldn't think like that. Why do I have to share a room with someone so insufferable? Okay, alright. I am loving this so far. Oh, I'm gonna love this type of storyline. The whole, free, loose, loose is always this is why I always loved their dynamic. Not only because it's enemies to lovers, and I am a fucking slut for enemies to lovers. I am one, a good enemies to lovers, sign me up, or rivals to lovers. Exquisite. Mwah. Chef's kiss. But anyways, as I was saying. But I also like the dynamic of carefree spirit with a trapped bird. You get me? Carefree, or what would be an animal that would represent carefree? Or free overall? A bird. A flying bird with a trapped bird. A wild bird with a caged bird. Right? I always like that dynamic. The whole loose being super carefree, super out, and Amity obviously being controlled, micromanaged, not having that carefreeness. Because it introduces some conflict there within the relationship, some jealousy, some, stuff like that. And it also introduces a really interesting thing where the characters balance out each other. So the carefree spirit dulls down to be a little more grounded. Not in a bad way grounded, but just, not so spontaneous. And actually thinking before doing shit. With obviously the character that's, trapped in a cage, being set free and being able to be more, carefree, like how the carefree character was. They balance each other out kind of situation. So I'm really interested. Okay, what's the next chapter called? Let me check. Hold up, there's notes. The internalized homophobia hits different. On a serious note, this was going to be pretty angsty, but what do you think about the switch in perspectives? It's not going to be a repeat of every day. I just wanted to establish background for both of them. Anyways, let me know what you think. I think the repeat on the first day is a very good move. We get to see both their perspectives, especially in their really short interactions. It could get annoying quite fast if it gets done like a lot. I know what's it called, the fan fiction, where every other chapter was their other point of view, but the same thing that happened. Half the time I would just choose one person's point of view. I literally just chose one person's point of view after 6 chapters of that, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm just sticking to the person who's even, right? I'm just sticking to this one character's point of view because ain't no fucking way I have to reread the same thing. But occasionally here and there, for example, that was good. Okay, chapter 3 is called August 31st. August 31st. Today is August 31st. I'm joking, it's not. August 31st. Interesting. Okay. There's no summary notes. We're just gonna scroll down and we're gonna read a random thing. Amity walked in, stopping to grab a powdered donut before sitting down at a conveniently empty table that just seemed to have appeared. Okay, interesting. Okay, as always, my range ups, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.